The amount of talent coming into this space, the amount of competition coming into this space is going to drive prices, right? But don't forget the amount of innovation. Like Coinbase isn't a fintech company, right? It's a crypto ecosystem company. And none of us really understand how big the TAM of that ecosystem is, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere comes NFTs, which is going to be a huge part of the crypto economy. And so I think right now, total crypto wealth is roughly $2 trillion. So that's 1/2 of 1% of all wealth. If you don't think in the next 2 to 3 years that can be 2 to 3%, you're not paying attention to the trends.
Happy hump day, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. Hope you're having a great midweek, and there's a lot to cover today. I wanted to put out this news video a little bit later in the day so that we'd have a little bit of space to be able to absorb all that's happening right now with Coinbase. Clearly, individuals like Mike Novogratz are very enthusiastic. I think right now it feels like kind of a pep rally for the totality of cryptocurrency. People that have never had any business discussing Bitcoin or blockchain or crypto or altcoins are now kind of forced to into that conversation in the traditional kind of financial or Wall Street circles. This has a lot to do with Coinbase. Squawk Box covering Mike Novogratz, who's covering the fact right now that a $2 trillion market cap is peanuts. Although it's actually, if you've noticed, it's growing quite nicely now up to $2.25 trillion. So of course, the big news of the day is the Coinbase IPO. It started off with a lot of ferocity and a lot of momentum. It's subsided a little bit now. It's later in the afternoon at the time of this recording, but a lot of people are hailing this as really one of the milestone events financially of the year here on Yahoo Finance. This article from yesterday, Coinbase's IPO will be the quote biggest event of the year in public markets. At least that's what some people are saying. To give you guys a sense of where we are right now, we're at $336. This is the public listing information. And as I record, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So we started off as far as the opening bell at $250. We went as high as about $425, maybe $430 American. Back down a little bit right now off of that early enthusiasm, but that's still up 34.9, now 35% flat versus where the bell rang initially to kick off the day. So guys, a lot happening in this space. We're very excited to see very green markets right now. We're going to be covering news out of all our favorite altcoins, including Paid Network, including Terra, Virtua. THETA is in the news. I just barely missed their patent announcement yesterday. Didn't quite make that into the news that we covered in yesterday's video on Tuesday, but big THETA patent news. We're excited about that. News about Chainlink, news about Polkadot, Oddz, Grayscale, big macro news as well. Of course, if you like this kind of content, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and altcoin coverage, then be sure to like and subscribe to Altcoin Buzz. Okay, it would seem that anytime I sit down to record, it always seems to be that hour that the market decides to retrace. And in hand with that tradition, we're down a little bit now, ever so slightly. The market is kind of flat / down versus yesterday. But as I mentioned, we're sitting right now at 2.24, nearly $2.25 trillion, which is great to see. Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs in the early hours of Wednesday morning, as you can see here officially on CoinGecko.com. The new all-time high metric to keep in mind now is $64,800. So that is the new benchmark. New all-time highs as well for Ethereum, some other ones. New all-time high for Chainlink, which is something that we've been championing for a while. I feel that's way, way, way overdue. And of course, I should mention new all-time high for Dogecoin here, just performing incredibly well, up 33.7% on the day, now at 11.8 cents, but a little bit earlier in the day, I guess, as a result, at least partially, from all this exuberance that we've been seeing with Coinbase, its new all-time high, Dogecoin, that is 14 cents, 14.02. So we're down actually 11.5% off of that all-time high, which was reached about 11 hours ago. It currently sits at number 10, rank number 10 among all the other altcoins. So look, hey, kudos to Dogecoin. A little bit of a silly project in my opinion, but that seems to be what's working, is the fact that that's its reputation. People are into it, and kudos to all the Doge holders. What can you say? You can't argue with the numbers. I want to mention the fact that Binance is covering this Coinbase IPO news in a big way. For full transparency, I don't know if it's worth mentioning, I'm not buying any coin stock. That's the ticker, right? COIN. Again, right now, going back to the latest information, $333. So it's still up north of 30% on the day. If I were kind of a traditional Wall Street type, and I had, a background in TradFi, and I was financially kind of entrenched in, let's say, the old school infrastructure. If I were interested in cryptocurrency, I'd kind of say, yeah, maybe, Coinbase stock would be my gateway drug. But I just have zero interest. Like, even if Coinbase goes up to $1,000 tomorrow, I'd rather just hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Litecoin, all the other altcoins that we talk about on a daily basis. I would just much rather hold those projects, personally speaking. So in full transparency, although I'm excited about this, I'm not a holder of any Coinbase stock. Not that it really matters, but just thought I'd mention that. Anyways, with that being said, Binance here, at Binance on Twitter. Binance will list the Coinbase stock token coin in a similar way to what they did with Tesla stock, right? The tokenization of Tesla stock. So you can read about this here. Binance will list the Coinbase stock token. It's going to list the coin token following Coinbase's official listing on NASDAQ, and they're going to post, Binance that is, a further announcement where Coin BUSD trading pair will be open on Binance. Users will be able to trade, here's the important part, fractional stock on the Binance website. It's really a revolutionary notion, to understand the fact that you don't have to purchase a full Bitcoin, right? People say, well, Bitcoin's at whatever it is now, $62,000, $63,000. I don't have a spare $62,000 or $63,000, therefore I can't buy Bitcoin. It's kind of old school thinking, and you have to be able to tell them politely. I implore you to politely inform your peers about this, but you can say, no, you can buy 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin if you so choose. It's divided up into Satoshis. That's how the currency and the asset is divvied up. So you can buy, $1 worth of Bitcoin if you want. You can buy a penny's worth of Bitcoin if you want. And that's not been the case with traditional stock market assets. So if you have a stock, whether it's Google or Apple or what have you, or Tesla, you say, I don't have $300 or $400 or $500. I don't have $1,000 or whatever it may be. I can't own a full stock. Binance is changing this. So it's always been the case in cryptocurrency that you could be a fractional owner. You could own 0.05 Bitcoin. Now you can also own fractional amounts of these other stocks. Tesla and now Coinbase stock has been added to the list. It's a subtle detail, but one that I think is important to highlight. It's an important detail and a big one that I think is going to bring more people into the space ultimately. And that's what we want to do, the democratization of finance via fintech tools and via great leaders and exchanges like Binance. Awesome. Documenting Bitcoin with this observation from earlier today. I haven't been able to verify this yet, and that's where I'm not sure how the terms are defined here. Are we talking about M1 money supply? Are we talking about, I'm not sure. Anyways, let's take this at face value. Bitcoin is now the 6th largest currency in the world after overtaking the British pound sterling in monetary base size. If you're interested, there is a reference here that's provided, data source from Crypto Voices. I'm not 100% sure that this is like totally reliable, but if it's not today, it's going to be at some point in the future. Bitcoin either has or will surpass the British pound sterling. So that's good to see. Our friends over at Paid Network are in the news. They're proud to announce their partnership with Vortex DeFi, a gateway to all DeFi instruments. Vortex will utilize Paid's smart agreements in its platform, so Vortex users can complete business agreements with one another. Another good update for Paid Network. So you can read about that Vortex partnership here. We're on paidnetwork.medium.com. If you guys are new to the channel, by any chance, a lot of new subscribers these days, we cover a lot in these daily updates. I always link all of the information, all the links, all the resources in the description below. So you can check it out there if ever you want to dig further into any one particular story. Terra Virtua is in the news. First and foremost, if you haven't checked out our interview, Leia's interview, I should say, with Terra Virtua's CTO, and really his revolutionary idea of what it is NFTs are, why we're in the very, very early stages of, NFT marketplace development and infrastructure development. Check out that video. There should be a card popping up right about now. I will also link to that in the description below. Terra_Virtua. They're thrilled to announce their partnership with one of the most exciting projects in the blockchain space, talking about Casper Network. Learn more about our exciting plans here. #NFT, #authentication. TVK, of course, and that is something I'll also link to in the description below. Terra Virtua times Casper network, authentication of physical assets with NFTs. Theta network now is in the news, and we're excited about this one. Just barely missed it yesterday. I was off by about 10 minutes. Otherwise, I would have included it. But this post from yesterday, the 13th of April, Theta_network. Theta awarded third U.S. patent, 10,979,467 for, quote, methods and systems of peer discovery in a decentralized data streaming and delivery network. So not one, not two, but 3 patents to their name right now. Theta. Actually, I mentioned, funny enough, I talked about Theta in today's earlier video, which was on a VeChain, a VET price analysis. And I said, I'm excited about VeChain because it's really tackling with a lot of confidence the supply chain industry, logistics, accountability, product tracing, product integrity, these big, problems in those worlds across all kinds of different industries, right? Medical, pharmaceutical, food, agriculture, automotive, just about every industry you can name. And I said, that's what I like about VeChain is that it's a leader in that space. It's doing things that nobody else is doing. And it's exactly the same reason I'm a big fan of Theta. Theta, in full transparency, Theta may be my favorite altcoin, like ever. I think these guys are only just getting started because they're doing what nobody else is doing. They're patenting the proprietary technology, and they're doing it in a space that is not only blowing up right now, but is poised to grow exponentially in these next few years, right? They're revolutionizing video streaming technology and bandwidth capability. These guys are lined up to take over the world, in my opinion. You guys can read more about Theta and their patents here on medium.com/Theta. I'll link to this in the description below. Kucoin is in the news here in a pretty big way, along with their token KCS. So here's an important announcement that's actually exclusive. It's something that we just caught wind of today. We want to share it with you guys. It's very important. There are a couple of crucial dates that we'll be discussing, one of which is today, the 14th of April, one of which is tomorrow, the 15th of April. So Kucoin Polkadex listing. This is a world premiere essentially in terms of the news. We're going to give you guys an overview of the PDEX token. That's PDEX. It's a sale that's happening via the proportional distribution model. I'll let you guys know how to participate. Let's take a look at some of the details here. We are on kucoin.com/news. So Kucoin will be launching the next round of the Spotlight token sale with Polkadex, PDEX on April 14th. And the new round of the PDEX token sale will operate using a brand new distribution mechanism, proportional distribution model. So some of the Spotlight token sale details are available here. Here's what they are. Number 1, token sale, Polkadex, the PDEX, that's what we're talking about. Spotlight hard cap, 200,000 USDT. Spotlight allocation of 100,000 PDEX. You do the math, that's basic arithmetic. It means that the sale price is $2 or 2 USDT for every 1 PDEX token. The token supported is Kucoin token, KCS, which we've been talking a lot about lately. And just like Binance Coin, just like Huobi token, just like OKB, which recently hit a new all-time high, a lot of these utility tokens, these exchange utility tokens, I feel have been undervalued for a long time. And all of the sudden now they're catching up with, their value, their market value, which has been a long time coming. So the price ratio, the actual price ratio of KCS will be announced on the day of the token sale. The sale format, proportional distribution model, Spotlight token distribution. The PDEX will be distributed immediately after the successful deduction of KCX. Total token supply is 20 million PDEX. Initially, there will be a circulating supply of 1,963,860 PDEX, or the equivalent of 9.82% of that total supply of 20 million PDEX. Polkadex website is this one here. We're going to come back to this page in just a second, but for reference, here is the website polkadex.trade. And by the way, their testnet v3 is coming soon. So we'll link to this in the description below. You can take a deeper look at the website here. Let's take a look at details as far as how to participate. So participants must have KCS holdings of at least 500 KCS. At the time of this recording, just doing some quick math, that is equivalent to roughly $10,000 US, roughly speaking. So that's the initial requirement, while their final allocation of the new token is determined by the portion of their KCS holdings against the total KCS holdings by all participating users. And to ensure a fair allocation for all participants, a hard cap will be set for the token allocation per user. Those important dates that I mentioned today: token sale subscription is starting at 12 UTC, 12 p.m. UTC on the 14th of April. That time has passed by the time you're watching this video, but be on the lookout for tomorrow, because the end time, you still have plenty of time to participate. The token sale subscription is ending at 11:59:59 on the 15th of April. That's UTC time. You still have time to participate. Again, minimum KCS holdings for eligibility, 500 KCS. Hard cap per user, 100 USDT. One of my favorites here is in the news, Chainlink, ticker LINK, with some pretty good integration news, partnership news. Options protocol, Oddz Finance, will use Chainlink implied volatility IV data feeds across multiple blockchain networks. Chainlink's high-quality data and tamper-proof infrastructure ensure options contract premiums are calculated accurately and securely. And speaking of Chainlink, we have to celebrate the fact that, although not right now, it hit a new all-time high today. So Chainlink at $37.31, that is up 6.4% on the day. But scrolling down and rewinding a few hours, Chainlink officially, according to CoinGecko data, hit a new all-time high of $38.56. We're down a couple percentage points off of that new all-time high. It happened just a couple of hours ago. So 2 hours ago from the time of this recording, at least $38.56. I'm telling you guys, it won't be long until we breach $40, and then I think we're in for something special. As a reminder, you guys can always check out not only our Trade Signals Telegram group, because that's a great non-investment advice source of technical information. You can also check out, in the case of this all-time high, and speaking of Chainlink, you can also check out our Link price prediction video. That was from a few weeks ago, but things are lining up very nicely right now in terms of the metrics that we put out there and our predictions. I will link to that in the description below. At Polkadot news here, Orion Protocol announces Orion Protocol's code has been successfully migrated to the Polkadot ecosystem via Moonbeam network and is underway with building out the UI UX for integration into Orion Terminal. Very cool. More on that here on blog.orionprotocol.io/Polkadot. And then we have news out of Plasm Network here. Big update. We are connecting Cosmos to Polkadot through Plasm Network. The MVP, the minimum viable product of Plasm Network's secret network bridge, is now ready. We are here to close the so-called Cosmos versus Polkadot debate. We bet against chain maximalism. You guys can read more about that. You also should check out this piece here, NASDAQtrader.com. So major US exchange Coinbase's CoinStock, of course, has received a reference price point. We started the day at that price point. It was $250. We'll take an update look at it, where it is and where it sits right now in just a second. This, of course, is much anticipated. There's a lot of hype around this. In fact, I think arguably it's been boosting up the entirety of the crypto market, not in a bad way, not in an artificial way, but in a good way. Here's some of the details surrounding that. I should also kind of just give kudos to Coinbase, because as it turns out, it's gifted 100 coin shares to each of its 1,700 employees ahead of the public listing. So, a little bit of math. If the shares started out at an estimated value of $250, in fact, that's what they opened at today. So $250, if everybody, all 1,700 employees get 100 of such shares, that's 100 times 250. Everybody's just being gifted $25,000, which is not too bad across 1,700 employees. That's extremely generous for a company to do. And in fact, now they're making more than that. Now it's closer to $33,000 because, of course, the price came up pretty significantly from $250, where it started at earlier today, now at $332. Again, that's up 32% on the day. So imagine that. That must be a great boon to your culture, your company morale. Like 1,700 employees, each getting effectively a bonus that equates to about $33,000. And if they hold on to that stock, as I'm sure most or many of them will, it's going to be worth a whole lot more one day, presumably. Very impressive indeed. Another cool company out there is Grayscale. Of course, they have this update this is from yesterday, actually. This is their April 13th update. They now have $49.2 billion in assets under management. Grayscale just continuing to dominate. They are writing the textbook on how to strategically position yourself as far as corporate treasuries go. That is fantastic. And more news here. Grayscale has added another $1.6 billion in Bitcoin, XLM, Mana, M-A-N-A, B-A-T, and Litecoin over the weekend. More about that is available here on u.today/Grayscale. I'll link to that in the description below. Microstrategy stock explodes alongside Bitcoin rally. MSTR is the stock in question. I don't know when this was written. Well, this is from yesterday. Okay, so it's a little bit outdated because MicroStrategy stock today somewhat inexplicably is down. Over the course of the last 5 days, yes, it's up. You can see there's a local peak here that it achieved at about $850. But zooming out even more, I mean, we have to remember that MicroStrategy peaked actually at nearly $1,300. So although it's doing well, you take a look at the max here. It's up very significantly from where it was months and years ago. But in these last 6 months, it's still down off of that all-time, or whether it's an all-time high or a local high, I'm not exactly clear, but it was $1,272 on the 9th of February. So yeah, doing well, certainly, but still down off of that local all-time high from 2021. In other news, guys, the positivity never ends here on Markets Insider, markets.businessinsider.com. USPS, United States Postal Service, certifies case mail as first blockchain-generated e-postage. Why not? I'm not an American citizen, but I think I can speak for Americans. Your postal service is in disarray. It's an absolute joke. Same with ours, by the way. The Canadian Postal Service is an absolute joke. It has no respect because it has no efficiency. And so it behooves these organizations to adopt some of these more efficient systems and methodologies, and it doesn't surprise me in the least that they're moving in the direction of blockchain. It's kind of like a survival mechanism at this point. They have to, right? Because, oh my God, just a disaster. Postal services, I think around the world, you could argue, are disasters, but certainly in Canada. And look, maybe I shouldn't speak for Americans watching this, but likely, if you are an American, you're not exactly thrilled with the level of service and quality that your taxpayer dollars are paying for in terms of supporting the USPS. Look, if you have a different point of view, let me know about it in the comments below. Give me a piece of your mind, but I think that's how most people feel. Finally, Michael Saylor. Let's end things on a positive note here. Bitcoin is the most powerful technology of this century. Quoting here, documenting Bitcoin, pointing out the fact that it took Microsoft 44 years to reach $1 trillion market cap. Apple took 42 years, Amazon 24. Google so far has been the winner. It took Google just 21 years to hit a $1 trillion market cap. But then came Bitcoin. It took only 12 years. The big tech stocks above took a lengthy average of nearly 33 years to surpass the $1 trillion market cap mark relative to Bitcoin's short 12-year run. Now we're in exponential territory. It took 12 years to hit $1 trillion. I suspect it'll take less than one more year to hit $2 trillion. And we're talking just about Bitcoin now. And then it's going to increase exponentially. That is the exponential function. That is how it works. Bitcoin is a financial black hole. As Michael Saylor would say, weak assets flow into strong assets, and Bitcoin is the strongest asset, the hardest money that the world has ever seen. Guys, there's a lot happening in this space. As always, if you want to keep up to speed, I recommend that you follow us on all the regular social media channels, and we'll do our dangdest to make sure that we're keeping you abreast with all the latest. You should also visit us on the website, altcoinbuzz.io, for all the latest. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you guys enjoyed today's video. Best of luck if you choose to invest on this hump day, but have a great midweek. Stay safe first and foremost, and as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.